Okay, Huddersfield Town have sacked Jan Siewert. This news broke late last night after the 2-1 defeat to Fulham. He only been in charge for 7 months. He was the replacement for David Wagner, who left by mutual consent last season. He couldn't keep the club in the Premier League. They've only had one win since he took over. So it's not a great record, if we're honest. One win in 19 is not a great record by anyone's imagination. But looking at the responses online to this sacking, it seems that the fan base itself are more angry with the board than Jan Siewert. They are for the most part, aiming their derision, their anger at the board. And I have to agree with them. He used to coach Borussia Dortmund's B team, their reserves. So to pick him out and say you're going to go into a club that's fighting for top league survival in a foreign league, you've got 3-4 months to do it. That is a pretty bizarre decision by the board to begin with. Whether David Wagner had some input on his successor is interesting. They like to go to the German league. We've seen that with their managerial appointments, obviously. But whether David Wagner had some input to say, look, when I do leave this club, here should be my successor, we will never know, possibly. But he came in, and it just didn't have the same effect as David Wagner when he first came in, to galvanise the squad, lift the squad, and get them to where they were. What is surprising, though, is how quick it's taken. We're not even midway through August, and we've already had 2 managerial casualties. Sol Campbell at Macclesfield was by mutual consent. Similar situation, thrown into a club in chaos, stabilised and kept them in the league they were in. But beginning of this season, it's decided it's not going to continue. Jan Siewert, thrown into a club in chaos, didn't get them to the promised land of safety. They have a poor start to this season. They're in the news for their sponsorship deal with their shirt sponsors. Again, that's the board's decision to agree to that sponsorship deal with Paddy Power. That hasn't gone down well. So Huddersfield is a club that's in the press for all the wrong reasons right now. Do I feel sorry for Jan Siewert? I don't think he was backed by the board. But Huddersfield are traditionally a club that runs on a smaller budget than other clubs in the Championship, and for that matter, the Premier League when they were there. They tend to rely on a smaller budget kind of team. But it's not Jan Siewert's fault they are where they are, but he has been hung out to dry. I'm seeing a lot of comments on social media of anger aimed at Huddersfield Town's board. A lot of comments aimed at the board. They're not happy with how the board have handled the succession from Wagner to Siewert, the fact he wasn't backed, and the little time he's been given this season to really get his whole message across, where he's the guy in charge for a full year. It's still, the transfer window is still open to sell players, for example, and to get players in on loan. There was a lot of anger directed at that board. The League Cup loss to Lincoln City, I don't think would have helped. The shirt sponsorship deal didn't go down well. The club has been fined for that. And 4 games into the season, I don't think is fair. But we've seen it with Crystal Palace with De Boer a couple of seasons ago. He lasted 5 games in charge, and we've also seen it with Macclesfield Town with Sol Campbell, where they decided to amicably pass ways. The only other example I can think of a club parting ways with a manager is Kenny Miller at Livingston last season with 7 games in charge. It rarely happens. It's not unheard of, but it's a very rare event. It's happened 4 times that I can think of in recent memory, all in the last couple of seasons. But it doesn't often happen, so it's going to be interesting to see where Huddersfield Town go from here and who they select to replace Jan Siewert. And it's going to be interesting to see what direction the club take. That means there's now 2 clubs in the Football League looking for management. Macclesfield Town are looking for a manager. Huddersfield Town are looking for a manager. So it's going to be very interesting to see who they pick up to replace those managerial casualties. Wycombe Wanderers, Ainsworth has been highly spoke of. He's highly thought of with how he runs and gets his team to perform on a very small budget. With Wycombe, they are operating on a shoestring, and he produces results season after season. He's been highlighted for a job higher up the football pyramid, and there are some other managers out there who are available. But for now, thank you very much for watching. If you are a Huddersfield Town fan, what do you make of Jan Siewert's sacking? Do you think it's unfair? Do you think it's justified? Do you think he was the wrong man for the job in the first place? Do you feel like he's been hung out to dry for the board's failings? I'm going for the latter. I think the board have failed in transfer policy this time last year, and they failed to back the manager they had now. There we go. I'm going to leave that there. Thank you very much for watching. Place your comments below, and I'll have some more videos for you very, very soon.